Hello friend, my name is Ayush Yadav and today I'll be explaining you about the confusion matrix. This is my lecture 1 and in this series of video I will be explaining you about AOC, ROC curve, linear regression and different machine learning algorithms. So before diving into the concept, let me tell you how will I going to go proceed in this video lecture. So first I'll be explaining you I will tell you the definition of the confusion matrix, what are the different terms involved in it and how to calculate it. So now let us start with the definition. Confusion matrix is nothing but a performance measurement of machine learning classification algorithm. Okay. So how to now put this problem to explain you a bit more this definition. Let me give you an example. Okay. So what do we mean by here? The performance measurement of for ML classification algorithm. There are different ML classification algorithm like logistic regression. Okay, then there is support vector machine, then there is neural network, then there is decision tree. Okay, they are different machine learning algorithms. These I'm telling the most basic one. Okay, now using these algorithms you approach a problem to solve whether the output should be 0 or 1. So let us take an email spam detection problem that you have been given different features of an email, and based on an analysis you have to predict whether that is a spam or not. So you are a smart guy, you use these algorithm and you came to the conclusion and you got different output for the mail. Now your algorithm is ready. So for testing whether your final algorithm which algorithm should I choose in different conditions, we use this confusion matrix. Okay. So how to do that? Say you will when you given a data set, you will have a training data set. Okay. So by training data set, you have both the input values and the output values. You made a model, yeah, and now you predicted the output. So what you do actually is for every algorithm you will make this matrix sort of structure where, see, on the left hand side I have written the predicted values and on the right hand side I have written the actual values. Okay. Now what do we mean by different term? TP, true positive, FP, false positive, FN, false negative, and TN, true negative. Okay. So what is true positive? True positive means in the actual values the output was positive, and what you predicted through your model in the training data set you also got positive. So this comes under the, though this is truly classified in terms of positive data set, so this will be true positive. Now there will be output for which my predicted values will be negative. Okay, and in the data set the actual values were also negative, so that is true negative. So this true positive and true negative are something which is important for us and it should be higher. That is a basic understanding. Like if you don't know about this and you will be asked how to evaluate your model, you will focus on true positive and true negative. Okay, but now there are also different, like, slight missing in this problem, like in this approach, that is about false positive and false negative. How it is missing, I'll tell you later on. But let us understand what are false positive and false negative. So false positive means that you predicted that the output should be positive, but in the actual the positive it was negative. So this will be classified as false positive, and similarly there will be false negative. Okay. Now if any of you would be having a statistical background, he will understand that false positive is nothing but something like a type 1 error, and false negative is nothing but type 2 error. Okay. Now let me give you an example of false positive and false negative. Say you have a spam detection problem, as I told you earlier. So by false positive I mean that an email that is not spam has been detected as spam by you. Okay, so that is something like point to be worried about, because you may miss an important email. So here in this approach, the cost of making a false positive is high, because you may miss an email from your boss if you use this algorithm. Then you won't use Gmail, I guess. So here the cost of false positive is high. Similarly, there are example when the cost of false negative can be high. Like you have a problem of terrorist detection problem, and you identified him not to be a terrorist, but he eventually turned out to be a terrorist. So here the cost of false negative is very high. So you got why, understanding why I said that evaluating an algorithm only on based of true positive and true negative may not be right. Okay, now let us see how different terms are made and when to use which one depending upon a problem. So first is recall. Now what is recall? Recall is nothing but true positive upon true positive plus false negative. That is your predicted values. For it means that out of the total predicted positive values, how many are truly predicted positive values. Okay, that is true positive upon true positive plus false positive. Sorry, true positive upon true positive plus false negative. Okay, so it means out of all the positive classes, how much we have predicted correctly. So let me explain you again. Here I made a small mistake. Recall is nothing but true positive upon true positive plus false negative. So it means out of all the positive values, means out of the all actual positive values, how many I have been able to predict correctly as positive. So that is recall. So you understand it is good that yes, we should have high recall. You understand that? Okay. Now let us see what is precision. Precision is true positive upon true positive plus false positive. Okay, this is what I told you earlier. True positive upon true positive plus false positive. Okay, now what do you mean by precision? That is out of all the positive classes which have been predicted by my model, how many are actually positive. Okay, so let's see. Out of all the predicted positive values by my model, true positive plus false positive, how many of are actually predicted correctly, that is true positive. Okay, so what is precision? True positive upon true positive plus false positive. And what is accuracy? Accuracy means out of all classes, that is true positive, false negative and true negative, how many are rightly classified, that is true positive plus true negative. Okay, so depending upon the problem we can use the criteria, but one thing you got to understand that recall is also important and precision is also important. And so for that we created a term called F score, which is nothing but an harmonic mean of recall and precision. Okay, so because we need a why some if somebody asks you why you need an F score, because we need both high recall and high precision, and we use F score so that we have a balance between precision and recall. So it's nothing but as a harmonic mean of recall and precision. Okay, so you get finally 2 times recall into precision upon recall plus precision. Okay, now one thing to understand is when to use when to use what. Okay, so precision should be used when cost of false positive is high. Okay, when cost of false positive is high, then you have to use precision. And I gave you an example of this with like a spam detection problem. Okay, and recall when the cost of false negative is high, and I gave you an example of terrorist detection problem. Okay, now one and accuracy is something which you can use, which you should use, but it should not be the only criteria in deciding which algorithm should be used. And to understand this, I will in the later lecture tell you about the AUC, area under curve, and ROC, receiver operating characteristics, which gives an idea of accuracy. better idea of accuracy. Okay. Now, one question which any of you like would have in mind is why the harmonic mean is used? Why not arithmetic mean? Why not maybe geometric mean? Okay, so one like there are different reasons for it, but two important reasons which, according to me, give rise to the use of harmonic mean are: first, if you see the recall and precision, they have same numerator and different denominator. Now, when you take an average, you keep in mind that your denominator is sometimes same. If it is not same, like if I have a data set where the the positive actual positive values are very high, or the like actual negative values are very less, or say very high, anything can happen. So even if you take an average of that, it is not a good call to do. Okay, so that's why we always take an average when we have a same numerator, like sorry, same denominator. That's why here we are taking the average of the reciprocal of recall and precision, and obviously this cannot be the only reason for doing so. Now another reason what it is, and that is quite important, that see, I'll give you an example, and this example is very created. Okay, say precision is 0 and recall is 1. So it is just for the example sake. Okay, so don't it is just to explain you, so just listen to it. Now what is the, if I take the average of this, okay, you'll get 0.5. Okay, but if I take the harmonic mean, okay, so it will be 0. Now that is important. Now if I am in a model where precision is 0, and what do you mean by precision? Let's go again and see that the number of cases where we have true positive is actually 0. Okay, now that but if you see that example is like almost impossible if you see, because in both cases recall and precision the numerator is same. So exactly that is not possible. But why I wrote this, to tell you the importance of the extreme values. Okay, so if whenever in case of extreme values, the all harmonic mean punishes extreme values more, that's why we use harmonic mean. Okay, and let me tell you that whenever such measures are decided, that are not decided like exactly like how I'm telling you, that somebody thought we need to punish extreme values, so let us take harmonic mean. Okay, no, there are different criteria in mathematics where it is like different metrics are given a definitions, and what are the like different characteristics they should follow, what are the different properties they should have, and when those properties are satisfied, they are termed as the good metrics. So that is how they came to this idea of harmonic mean. And what happened, using harmonic mean gave us these advantages. So I'm telling you the advantages, not the reason of using harmonic mean. But in an interview, maybe they may ask you as an like reason of using harmonic mean. So don't debate with them, just answer this. This is the best they know. Okay.